So I looked at the Defiance website and I was kind of hoping maybe they'd have some patch notes up. I know they have a tendency to put them up after, but I really wanted to make sure that what I saw on PTS was going to be kind of what showed up. So you kind of see. I just had to show you. I did ask. I asked where are the patch notes? You know, can I see some? And I got a response, and you can see here. There's our patch notes, and of course we know about Alcatraz. I've gone over that. I've gone over cyber rigs. Got expeditions. So these are all things I've covered. So we all should know that this was what was coming in this update. Salvage matrix update looks like it'll be a little different. You can see it says you'll be able to perform salvage matrix operations right on your inventory screen. You'll be able to right click or press right trigger to access the inline salvage operations. I don't know if that means you just be able to salvage it or what, but apparently we'll at least get another little ease of use type of thing to do there. So that'll be nice. So the big stuff, things we should know by now. The max ego is increased to 6,000. Fixed a situation where certain rewards were not being boosted correctly. I wonder what rewards those were. Fixed a very rare client crash when spawning a vehicle. Now, I'm guessing that would be whenever you spawn it into something or it just goes, you know, freaks out and goes insane and your frame rate goes to like -20. That might be what that's about. There's now a trade chat. Oh, that is going to be super awesome. I hate having if you have a large inventory and you have to scroll 2 miles to find what you're looking for, you don't want to have to do it again when you come back out to talk to somebody because you're trying to make a deal with something. So that's going to be really nice. I've spoke about this before. They removed the woot loot and increased the script and keys you get from events. It looks like they're trying to improve stability again. That's always a good thing. They modified the end screen for PvE events, PvP matches, and siege events, including the ability to make quick purchases. So I saw this on PTS, and I wasn't really sure about it, so I never made any comments. But when your reward screen pops up and it gives you the scoreboard showing you what you and everybody else did, there's basically, we'll call it an advertisement for the cash shop, for the Defiance store there, and you can click on that and it will take you to the store to that item. It's just kind of like a little Defiance advertisement inside the screen. So, and I'm assuming that's what that's going to mean. So some special weapon pickups were not scaling properly to the player's ratings, and that now they'll be more useful to high-level players. Okay, now I've noticed that at sieges, especially at Diablo Oil, you'll pick up the special weapon, and where it should be doing thousands or so of damage, it's doing like below hundreds. So it's pretty much useless. So that would be nice for that to be fixed. That wasn't even on my radar, and I'm glad to see it was on their radar. Prevented several situations where purchased consumable fields will be unintentionally salvaged. I've never ran into that issue. Fixed something with people finishing Cradle of the Grave. Problem with loot boost effects being applied incorrectly. I'm not exactly sure which one that is about, because it says a loot boost, and we don't really have a loot boost anymore. So unless they're going to add loot boost back, because loot boost was supposed to be so that the rarity of your drops were getting better, and we were just getting more in quantity. So I'm not really sure exactly what that whole sentence means right there. So top performing players may no longer mute themselves from the scoreboard. I just don't want to be able to select myself. I go to hit reload right as the scoreboard pops up, and up comes my gamer tag. I absolutely hate it. Players who try to simultaneously interact with Ammo Crate will no longer be presented with the dysfunctional interaction prompt. I think I know what they're talking about there, but not 100% sure. Now, the new options for rolling. Also, okay, we all know what double tap is to roll. You double tap and you roll. What they made it now was you can go into your settings and you can turn on your I think it's turn off your double tap. So instead of when you're running, if you press the button that makes you crouch, you will roll instead of having to double tap it. And just when you're standing still, you'll crouch. That will be very nice right there. Resolve an issue that was causing some weapon effects to be incorrectly modified. So I'm wondering if something was doing too little or too much damage. And I'm assuming an effect would be a nano. So the mute status, when you mute somebody now, it stays. It's like permanent. When you mute somebody, they're freaking muted forever. That is awesome and wonderful instead of you coming back the next day and having to see this person again. A congratulatory message will be broadcast when a player earns a jackpot item. You know, that's kind of nice. Everybody kind of sees, hey, look, this guy got something. But at the same time, the vultures can come in. So it's kind of a yes and a no thing. So the enemies. This one is about the enemies. And basically, what they're saying here is that from 10 to 4,500 ego, there was the spikes. And the spikes were like from 0 to 500. You got a lot of power. And then from the 500 to the even 1,000 mark was less. And now they're just going to make it a nice even flow up to 4,500. And from 4,500 to 6,000, the enemies and yourself, you and the enemies' health and everything is going to jump radically, a whole lot more. And what they're trying to do is, because Alcatraz, the enemy scaling is, they are so much tougher on Alcatraz, that this is going to make it to where higher scaled enemies will not be as tough. They'll be above your head, but they won't be as impossible to beat as they used to be or would be. So that will kind of make that work out. Boosts, inventory stack boosts. I'm assuming they mean when you buy inventory slots, you had to log out and back in for them to come in. So now they should be there immediately without you having to log in. Boostable currencies. So boostable currencies coming from your reward lockboxes and everything. So I'm guessing what that means is, say you hit a elite lockbox, you get 100 Arcforge out of it. You have the patron pass. You would get that. You have that natural 10% boost for Arcforge. You get 110 Arcforge. So more Arcforge is always welcome. So fix some missing descriptions for boosts. Playtime inventory boosts now count down correctly. I didn't realize they weren't, unless they mean like, I would love to be able to see how much patron pass I have in game instead of having to try to get on a PC to do that. So group matchmaking process will no longer put you in groups of people you have muted, nor will it match you with people who have you muted. So like the really nice fellow who continuously was kicking me out of that one co-op map that, you know, I put up that video for you guys. Well, that means I will never be matched with him if I have him muted. And I did mute him. I don't know if it'll stay permanent or if I run into him I'll have to mute him again. But it's like a way to avoid him, and I won't be matchmaked with him then. So that will be just super awesome right there. And the whole group things. Whenever you were kicking someone out of the group, they had to vote to kick themselves too. It was, they put it here, it was silly, and it was silly. So they took care of that one. The clan stuff was just little stuff. There was occasions where you couldn't see what other people were saying, and then they fixed that. And an issue with non-officers were being able to select, even though they couldn't communicate in the officer chat. I guess they could see it. I've never even used any of those chats, so it wouldn't even matter. Salvage matrix, the scroll position of the inventory, and you know, I don't even know what that is. See, this has got to be something. So now stays fixed. The scroll position of the inventory and claim items list now stays fixed to the same place when viewing an item in the inventory. Claiming salvage in an item. Oh, so it won't jump back up to the... Oh, that will be nice. So your salvage matrix, when you do salvage something, it'll go right back to where you were and not all the way back up to the top. That would be super nice. Fix the incorrect preview stats for the reduced rating option in the salvage matrix. I didn't even notice it. So here we have some mission fixes here, which I'm really not going to go into any of them. Items, they've updated the War Master and Arcbreaker Arc Falls. They've upgraded the weapons to the MK2 weapons. I don't know about a lot of the weapons. I mean, if you've watched my channel, you know I'm a big Springer fan, and the Cast-Thin Springer is going to have much better rolls. Cast-Thin Springer is going to be super awesome compared to what it was. Really looking forward to getting my hands on one of those. So, randomly generated charge weapons will no longer receive fire rate rarity bonuses. Yay! I hate seeing fire rate, and I hate getting cannoneer synergy on charge weapons. Is absolutely worthless. So that's really good right there. Fixed a bug that caused the armor damage bonus and plate slot synergy to be slightly weaker than expected. So that means it will get a little bit of a buff. But fixed a bug causing the second bonus on the plate slot synergy triggered at plus 25% damage to armor to persist longer than 5 seconds. So then it gets a little bit of a nerf. So it's a little bit of tit for tat on that one. Assault rifles like the Vought Blast Rifle will now show the burst count. So that's nice. It'll show you it does the damage times 3. So you're not looking at it compared to other rifles going, this sucks. And that's what we always did at first. When the game first come out, we were like, man, this gun sucks. But once we learned it was a 3-round burst, you learned it did a little more damage, so it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. They increased readability for comparing 2 high-level infectors. Burst damage and DOT damage are now broken out into 2 stats instead of just 1. That is good. Modified bug damage stats are given the appropriate color in the salvage matrix attached mod screen. That's nice, since it didn't upgrade that or update it, so you could see it and make sure you were happy with what you were seeing. Adjusting the ratings of an item within 100 rating of the player's rating will cause the item to match the player's rating now. So I guess they're saying that if you get it within a 100, it's technically the same. Like I'm 5900, so I don't know if that means it would technically be the same damage as 5900, or it's just going to move it up to 5900. Kind of not sure exactly how that one is going to work out. So they updated the rocker. It has quicker burst, better accuracy, and lower recoil. So the rocker might be a little bit better. It was still not that good, so maybe this will help it be a little bit of better gun. Tuned nano damage. They increased the penalty for base damage on radiation. This is one I knew about. It's going to go from 5 to 10%. So technically, radiation weapons are going to take about a 5% damage hit. They're going to be 5% weaker. But that's, there's a reason why radiation was the favorite. It was the most powerful, really, in the end. And they decreased the penalty for health damage on electric nano weapons from 50 to 25%. So against health, electric nano just got a 25% increase. That is just wonderful. I'm happy to see something done with electric. I'm tired of looking at it and just discarding anything with it. That is really good. I'm hoping it's as good as it sounds, and we'll find out. Updated shields coming from lockboxes. So basically it's saying if you get a legendary shield, it will be a 4EX or it'll be a 5 arc. Basically, I think they're saying we're not giving you these junky, crappy little shields. You won't get a 25%. Maybe, I'm assuming they're saying you're not going to get like a little 25% ironclad regenerator arc. That's legend arc, not arc. But just a regular ironclad regenerator is 25%. You'll get one that's actually 75% if it's legendary. That's kind of how I'm reading this. So your legendaries will only come in 4 EX and 5 arcs. That will be very, very nice. There's nothing more disappointing than getting some awful shield when you get a legendary shield. You want a good shield. Corrected a problem that caused some legendary shields that should have an electrical resistance to not display it. Well, I guess I wouldn't know if I didn't know it was missing it. So looks like the survivor shields were not giving you the 20% self-revive refresh, and they've updated it to make sure it does give you the 20%. Correct the description of legendary energizer shields to match the actual effect. So we weren't getting 15% ego power, we were getting less. So once again, well, it says corrected the description, so I guess it wasn't saying 15%. I'm not really sure. It kind of reads weird, doesn't it? Corrected the description for legendary energizer shields to match the actual effect of 15% ego power refresh. So maybe it read a little different. For some reason I'm thinking it wasn't 15%, and that might be a boost for energizer shields. And I might have one, but I'm not sure, so I can't really look. Can't look right now anyways, but updated the jackpot weapons in the... So all the these are the ones you buy. So in the supply crates that you buy out of the store, they updated the jackpot weapons and gave them names and everything. So, and the rarity bonuses are going to be on the new system. This is going to be one thing I was really, really hoping. I wasn't sure because it wasn't talked much about, but the converter mods, biological, electrical, and siphon nanos, they will all be in the game. So we will have converter mods for all. But, let's go down to the but. Merchants no longer sell any converter mod. So you could just go to whatever you were going to put it on. You could go to Iron Demon, you could go down through the mods, and you could get you an assault rifle, incendiary, or radiation mod. You won't be able to do that anymore. I'm assuming this just means there'll be drops, which means yet another mod for us to search for. So we'll see. I'm happy they're adding them in, but I was thinking, you could just go and buy them, but you're not. You're gonna have to wait for them to drop. So bonus 3 was not working for infectors, so they fixed the third synergy bonus for Saturnalia, so the infectors will work better. So that will be kind of good. Even though I have some questions about Saturnalia, I modded a gun and I didn't see that 5% damage did not update on the weapon, even after everything. So, I'm not so sure how well Saturnalia actually works. Raider tankers. Apparently their plates were not applying to the tanks you shot in the bag. And now they're making it to where it will. So you're actually, I mean, I guess, I just never paid attention. I just shot the tank till they died. But apparently the plates of armor were not applying correctly to that. War Master, I've said this before, I think, and that's they will always be threat level 10. So you will never be able to get into an instance by yourself and get a lower level War Master that you can beat easier. And this is what I like. I like the way this kind of works right here. Updated War Master loot to be more generous on a win and less generous on a loss. So if you lose, you will get nothing better than a blue. You will not get a purple anymore for losing. But if you win, there is a better chance of getting an arc breaker weapon. So that's really, really good. Silicon Valley open world. So the Hellfire invasion. Okay, Hellbogs no longer spawn underground. Okay. Oh, there's this spot. I had to think about that for a minute. So Pacific and Temple. Yeah, there is a spot where they go underground and it's just you can't kill them or they can't get to the crystal to blow it up, which you should just be letting them go unless they. Yeah, so see, they didn't fix anything. So what they need to do is, I mean, it's already bad enough with the health, with all of those things in Silicon Valley. You got to let them destroy the crystals, or you're sitting there for a ridiculously long time. Silicon Valley, at an extraction point. Ah, we needed that at Water Temple. I didn't even notice this before. We needed an extraction point at Water Temple. That's awesome. Mount Tam, ammo crate no longer disappears when approached. I never had that issue. Sausalito at the Diablo Siege, move spawn areas away from walls. That's probably necessary. And just some UI and setting fixes and some PS3 crash fixes and everything. So that's generally what we got. This is a pretty darn big update and pretty awesome, which might be why we're getting a 6-hour downtime for it. But I'm looking forward to some of these changes. I'm really, really, really happy with some of it. Actually, I'm really, really happy with the majority of it. So let's hope it all goes well, and I will see every one of you guys in Defiance.